Hey y'all, it's Colson from Hodl Economics, and today we'll be going over the best time to buy Bitcoin as well as the best strategy when buying Bitcoin based on my 4+ years buying Bitcoin and in this whole crypto space. Not financial advice, do your own research, and let's get into the video. Now, as you can see here, we are looking at the Bitcoin USD valuation on the 1 week time scale. Now, just from a quick glance at the chart, you can see that we have been in an uptrend pattern or an uptrend period for about the entirety of Bitcoin's lifetime, which has been about 15 years. But price action really started to kick up about 2016, 2017. Now, if you were to hypothetically be able to buy at the beginning of 2017 and then sell at the peak of 2017 and then kind of repeat this process throughout the course of Bitcoin's lifetime up until this point, if you could somehow time the market to where you could buy these bottoms and sell at these tippy tops, then obviously you would make a ton of money, a boatload of money, and your returns would be 1,000 times over. If we're being realistic, that's not realistic. The best thing that you can do is time in the market. A common saying is time in the market beats timing the market. If you look at this, I mean, it's just, you can see how volatile Bitcoin is. Over the past 9 years, Bitcoin is extremely volatile despite it being a pretty steady uptrend. Now, if you look at this chart, instead of buying and selling and you're just steadily accumulating at the point that these arrows are marking, instead of trying to time the market and buying low and selling high, as we would all like to do, but instead you just steadily accumulate, as you can really see the intrinsic value in Bitcoin and its limited supply and infinite potential demand, and you just are steadily buying at these points that are marked by these arrows where you potentially would have bought and sold, but you're just buying steadily. You can see that our average would come out to be about $44,000. Now, this is a strategy called DCA. And DCA means dollar cost average. And that is just the average of all your buys. Your dollar cost average buying at these points, depending on how much you're buying, obviously, is going to be between this $34,000 and $44,000 mark. Now, that is still 20% below where Bitcoin currently is at. And given that you're buying at these points and holding steady, then your buy average is going to be well below Bitcoin's market price throughout these time frames, despite its fluctuation, if you keep continuing to buy and hold the asset and accumulating at these various points in time. Now, if we look over at the Bitcoin USD valuation on the daily, the 1 day time scale, then you can see it's still in a pretty steady uptrend. Now, applying the dollar cost average kind of strategy to this point, let's draw some arrows here and say you assume you buy here when Bitcoin falls, assume it's going to rise, it falls again, you hold steady in your faith in the asset, you continue to buy, and you start to see this uptrend, and you're buying as it starts to trend upwards once again, and you reap those rewards from continuing to buy, because now your buy average is again at this kind of 34 level. If you just buy within the past 2 years when Bitcoin started to fall from previous all-time high, you're sitting at about a 34,000 DCA buy average, and Bitcoin's price is nearly double that at this point. So you're still looking at a 2x despite having held this asset throughout its volatile prices, and assuming you initially bought above your buy average, which would be around the 45,000. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, how can you decide when a good time to DCA into the market is? Now, if you look over at CoinMarketCap, they have this fear and greed index on the right side of their homepage. And the fear and greed index, as you can see here, it says the value is closer to zero, the market is in extreme fear, and investors have oversold irrationally. When the value is closer to 100, the market is in extreme greed, indicating a likely market correction. Now, this will help you kind of evaluate where the market is in terms of how the market feels and how Bitcoin's price could potentially respond to that. Like it said in the index, when Bitcoin's fear and greed index is closer to 100, greed is high, and it means the market is likely overbought. Whereas when greed is low and the indicator says as such, then the market is likely oversold. time in the market beats timing the market. You can hypothetically time the market and you may come out on top a handful of times, but it is more than likely that you are going to lose money in the grand scheme of things. There is a 90+% chance of that, unless you are the eensy beensy little 1% that can somehow manage to do that. The best strategy when buying Bitcoin is to just DCA. Time in the market beats timing the market. I cannot stress that enough. That is what I have learned over and over and over again in my 4+ years in this space. If y'all like that video, y'all find it informational, educational in any way, like, follow, subscribe. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.